what we do here is go back.
And let's try that. Hopefully that is working. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Evening everybody, it's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. That lovely young lady behind the camera is Kath, so please feel free to say hello to her in the chat. It is today, oh, don't want to see that bit. It is the 26th of September 2020 and we're still locked into COVID times, so hopefully wherever you are, you're doing okay, you're keeping healthy, keeping it real, and yeah, living the dream as we all are. If you can hear that rustling around under the table, that is Dave Burns' fault, and because if there's not some Mike's Unboxing pens on the desk, Dave's going to get upset. So Kath is having a rummage around in her box, so to speak.
It's not as exciting as the letters.
Yeah, it's not as big and is full of goodies as a letters box, unfortunately. But well, there's still some Mike's Unboxing pens. So if you want to get yourself a Mike's Unboxing pen, you know what to do. I'm not going to shill too hard on those. So if you want to head over to patreon.com/Mike's Unboxing, you grab yourself a pen or a Mike's Unboxing t-shirt, or maybe if you're feeling a bit generous, you can grab both of them. That's enough of that. So we've had a super chat in already from, who is that coming from?
Yeah.
From Pierre Plays YouTube. Donated £5. I'm not sure what it says because I haven't scrolled down that far yet. I had an absolute nightmare tonight before getting the stream ready. Turned on the laptop, which I haven't had on for, well, actually since last week's video, I think. Yeah, since last week's stream I haven't turned my laptop on. This week has been a bit of a nightmare. I did my back in last Sunday. After doing the stream on Saturday and then coming home on Sunday, after playing with the Gelid cooler, I figured I really need to stick it in my own personal rig. So I was there putting it into my own personal computer, which has got a Ryzen 5 3600, as probably most of you already know and bored to death of already. So I put it in there to see how it ran, and it runs absolutely amazing. It is a really good cooler. And much like Nvidia, I made a mistake myself. In the video where I actually did the testing with the Ryzen 3 3100, the eagle-eyed amongst you, who may have watched very closely when I actually installed that cooler, may notice I did the complete noob 101 mistake. Can you guess what it is? Let me know in the comments. Can you guess what it is? What my big mistake was on that review of the cooler? It actually makes the cooler so much better, but if you can guess the mistake I made, let us know in the comments and see what you see if you think how stupid I actually am. And I am only human, so it does happen. And while you're doing that, let's say a quick hello to some of you in the chat. So we've got Ricardo is in, Dave Burns is in, Ghost Adder, Ugly Bob. Who else we got? AN Malte says, is that an RX 5300 in the thumb? It possibly could be. It possibly could be. Matthew Day's in the house as well. Says, if I'd only been 9:15, I would have had some time to put something in the oven. Oh well, microwave burger it is. You can't beat a Rustlers. You really can't beat a Rustlers. I do like a good Rustlers. Not very good for you, not very healthy I'd imagine, but damn they taste good. Skystalker's in the house. Dave Burns, I said that already. Aletta's in the house also. Irie Wolfman says, sup everyone. Kota says, Ree. Not sure what that means. That's probably a good thing. James Miscellaneous says, Aletta, I mean. Oh, private conversation. I'll butt out. Clinch Sam says, good evening. Good evening all. How's tricks? Sorry, the monitor's a little bit further away. Yeah, technical issues today before we started this. This has actually been a week of technical issues for...
Did you ever finish the sentence where the laptop didn't
No, I didn't. The laptop didn't work. I booted it up for the first time in ages, well, about a week. And for some reason, I had everything set up, ready to go, and normally it just kicks in and it just works. And what did I get? It's an AMD laptop, so you can probably guess what I got. Yep, code 43, your device driver cannot start. Now this is about 8:35 tonight, and being that we go live at 9 o'clock, it's kind of the shittiest thing that could possibly happen at that time of night when you're getting ready to do a stream to find out that your graphics driver no longer works. So OBS is going to die, your second monitor is not going to work, things are just bad times in general. So I had to do an emergency Radeon error code 43 repair, which luckily, fingers crossed, has worked and everything's all good. The frame rates are good, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, not good. And this week I've had this bloody cold, or the virus, or whatever it is. It's been hanging around. It seems to be, I think I've got over the worst of it, but now it's just like the aftermath. My body is still trying to fight whatever is inside, and it's just like sore throats, blocked up nose, then like really sore sinuses, coughing, spluttering. It is really, really sucky. I don't think it's the C, the good old Rona, but whatever it is, it's just doing my head in. So I did my back in, like I said, when I was putting the gelid cooler in my case. Yeah, this week has been an absolute shambles. So I'm just I'm getting back to, I'm probably about 80% now. Not quite 100% quite yet, so do bear with me if I'm coughing, spluttering, choking, sneezing, whatever, then you just have to take me as it is. But it's good to see that I'm not the only one this week. Nvidia have had a really, really bad week themselves. If anything could have gone wrong for Nvidia this week, it has. What have we had? We've had a product launch with basically zero stock. I don't know, any of you in the chat actually managed to get your hands on a RTX 3080? I know one of our Discord members said that they had one, but it appeared to be a slightly Photoshop image, so the jury's kind of out on that one at the moment. But anyway, did anyone get a 3080? Let me know in the comments, I'm really interested to hear.
More chance of getting COVID, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got more chance of winning the lottery, I think, or getting run over. Let's have a quick look. Who else we got in this tonight? Actually, I haven't seen what the super chat was for.
Sing happy birthday.
Where is that? Why is that not appearing? Ah, there we go. Can you and Kath sing happy birthday to me for tomorrow? Kath? Kath says, screw you. She didn't say that. British Nobes driving home for Christmas. Okay. Fake COVID times, yes, it is very much that. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pierre Plays YouTube. Happy birthday to you. There we go. I could have done it in Welsh. I can sing it in Welsh, I think.
Happily.
Penblith hapus, etu. I think something like that. If anyone's Welsh in the comments, let us know if that's even remotely right. I can see that being a retraction. Captain Meets Adventure says, I'm off to watch Kerry Holzman. He has a Bible reading on. Who's coming? Kerry Holzman. Ah, dear. Ugly Bob Pens, fap, fap, fap. Dear Lord. Zars Coins is in the house as well. Ultimate Tech Hub says hi. Dave Burns says thermal paste. No, very close. It is related. Gary says hi, Kath and everyone.
And Gary did a super chat.
And Gary did a super chat. Gary did a super chat, $5. Thank you very much, Gary. We appreciate that. For those of you that are newbies here and don't know what the hell's going on, like me, I actually ain't got a clue what's going on. When the RGB ball goes off, that's basically my notification that super chat has happened. It's linked up with IFTTT. If you want to see a video of how I worked all that crap out, then I'll put a link up there at some point in the next part of, no, in the VOD. That's the word, VOD. Why do people call it VOD, video on demand? Why do they call it? Why don't they just call it in the replay? Is VOD like the new cool thing that the kids are saying? I don't know. Click Tech Kev says, yep, I'm on the waiting list for an Asus TUF 3080, but not for me for a client build. That'd be pretty cool when you get to see it. And actually, for those of you that are wondering, Ricardo says, is your birthday? No, it's not my birthday, but it feels like my birthday. This week has actually been really, really cool. One of our Discord members, who I'm not sure whether they want to be named or not, so I won't at the moment, but they sent me a bottle of whiskey to make me feel better for my back and my sore throat. So the person who sent it on our Discord, you know who you are. Appreciate it a lot. Also, one of our other slightly further afield members of the Mike's Unboxing community over in Norway, that's the one. He is Norwegian, but he's in Norway. Sent us over this cool stuff, which you probably can't see very well because the Mike's Unboxing logo at the bottom. But essentially, because I've been drinking the Carlsberg, he said that I should really be trying beers from around the world. So we've been sent some Kanza Premium. We've been sent some Isborn, I think that is, or Alborn. I'm probably pronouncing this all completely wrong, so I do apologise. Some Turbo Pills from Turbo Negro. I think Turbo Negro is actually a band in Norway, I think. So whether this is a beer actually made by the band, I'm not sure. But it does say at the top, good taste, good times, and good head. Actually says that on the top.
Maybe I should drink it.
Yeah, maybe one for Calf. This one is called Ass Pilsner.
And you got some interesting results.
From Brugger. This is Frydenlund. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what any of this means actually, but all I know is I'm very, very much appreciative of all this cool stuff coming through. And we got some Ringnes Pilsner, which also is pretty good. And this one says 2 pant on it. Okay. And also we got some snacks. So we got some original non-stop from, this is from Mondelez. So Mondelez is kind of like a universal company, but it says Friga or Friga. So that's pretty cool. These look kind of like M&Ms. Maybe that is like the kind of Norwegian version of the M&Ms, if that is the thing. And also we got this big bad boy.
What's this wee?
Milk Joe Gulad, which is, I'm imagining is white chocolate. No, it's not actually. No, it's just creamy, chocolatey stuff. Same company, so thank you so much for sending that out to us. I really appreciate it. Kath is definitely going to appreciate the chocolatey stuff, that's for sure. If I ever get to see any of that, it'll be an absolute miracle. Okay. Ultimate Tech Hub says, I like beer made from bands. Good head, lol. That's what it says. I'm not even joking. If I could even, I don't think I can even focus on that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. There's Turbo Pills, and on the top, around the ring, so to speak.
Got the light shining on it.
I don't know if you can see that. It actually does say it around that top area.
You got the light on it again.
It's not going to happen, is it? Trust me, it does say good head on it anyway. So, yeah, we'll go with that. So that's made me, Scotty Rock says, hey, where do I get a beer sugar daddy? You got a beer sugar wife, you don't need it.
A beer of you.
Pierre Plays YouTube says, someone's giving you a good head, Mike, and ass. Yep, good to know. Tonight, oh dear, tonight's stream's going to go off the rails very quickly, I can see it. We're going to talk some tech. To be honest with you, tech at the moment for me, I'll be completely honest with you, I know I shouldn't say it because YouTube is kind of like my thing and tech is my kind of passion, but is it me or is tech at the moment stale AF? It is just, I don't know, it seems like we're just on this constant treadmill of just waiting for the next product launch. It's been like it for months now, well, years almost. Kind of even with the 2000 series Ryzens, we're waiting for the 3000 and now we're waiting for the 5000 or whatever they're going to be. Same with graphics cards, there's always going to be something newer and better coming out as time goes on. And it doesn't seem at the moment that there's actually ever a good time to buy a processor or even a graphics card. Memory is dropping in price as we kind of predicted. So memory is really good price at the moment. You can get some super good deals, as you can with SSDs and NVMEs, which they seem to be flooding the market at the moment at some really, really crazy prices. I'm not sure if this is a universal thing or a global thing even, but certainly here in the UK, we're seeing some absolutely amazing prices and we're posting them daily on our Discord in the bargain section. It's, yeah, there's some really, really good stuff going around at the moment. But still, it is an extremely bad time at the moment to buy a graphics card or a CPU because we don't know what's going on. And if you've already bought a CPU like the RTX 3080, potentially you've already had problems. Now, for those of you that haven't seen recently in the kind of tech press, the RTX 3080, the original Founders Edition from Nvidia, is basically a souped up version. So whereas previously the Founders Edition would be kind of like your base reference and the AIBs took that design and then built upon it with extra cooling, extra fans, maybe slightly more power delivery, that kind of thing. This time around with the 3080, it's gone a little bit different. So Nvidia have given out reference designs to all the AIBs to make their cards and said, right, these are the components you need, this is how it all goes together, this is what you need to make the card. Then they've come out with this crazy tricked out Founders Edition, which looks amazing in my opinion, although slightly weird colour, but we won't go into that. And it is souped up. It's got much better power delivery, turbo boost for longer, or at least compared with some of the cars we've seen, but it also uses a slightly different method of putting all those components together, which is where we've seen some problems. Now, some of the transistors which have been put onto the new 3080 cards, there's been basically two ways of doing it. So there are some components essentially that deliver power to the processor itself. You can get good components and you can get slightly worse components. If you want to save money, you can use the slightly worse ones. If you want to make a reliable card which boosts high and continues to boost, then you can spend more money on the design. Now, a couple of companies over the last week or so have been going through various things, and Zotac being one of them, where they actually came out and said, well, they were kind of questioned on it in the press, saying, well, why does your RTX 3080 not boost as high as the Founders Edition? And at the time, we were all thinking like, well, yeah, that's a little bit weird. Why would you nerf your card just because it's entry level? It should still perform like the entry level Founders Edition, which is what we're used to. But no, it doesn't work like that. The Founders Edition on this time is a higher spec card. So by them actually releasing a card with a slightly lower clock speed or boost speed, it does kind of make sense. And they actually came out and said, well, yeah, it is slightly slower than Founders Edition. It is our entry-level model, so yeah, it is a little bit slower. It's been slightly nerfed. We do have another model higher up the range, the Amp Extremes, etc., which do run at the higher boost clocks. And it does seem that they've been kind of almost honest about it, I think, where they've said, yes, it doesn't perform quite as well, and they have used the kind of slightly lower spec capacitors on the back of the CPU there, or the GPU, which totally makes sense. Other cards have been sent out to reviewers with the kind of poor quality setups on, but still done pretty good on benchmarks. Although this time round it has seemed to be, there's not been that same kind of thing where you'd see maybe 4 or 5 different cards all lined up against each other with the various benchmarks. You've seen various YouTubers doing reviews on individual cards, mostly the Founders Edition ones. They don't seem to be doing many reviews on the other cards. There has been 1 or 2, don't get me wrong, but it does seem that most of the reviewers have concentrated on that Founders Edition, which now actually totally makes sense because the Founders Edition was the better card and it makes sense for them to review it because that is the higher performer. So yeah, weird stuff going on. So a lot of companies, EVGA for one, have actually turned around and said that yes, some of our early review samples have gone out with the kind of lesser design, and we have rectified that, so all the ones that actually hit the shops are going to be okay. Now this makes me think that they were saying originally that there wasn't a lot of stock to go round and people were really struggling and they sold out within seconds. Now if manufacturers were aware that there was this potential issue, which to be honest with you, I would be amazed if they didn't. In their last minute testing with those drivers, the drivers are normally the last thing that come out to the AIBs to do the final testing before they go in the boxes. If they got the drivers late, which it seems very likely they did, when they came to testing, I can pretty much guarantee that they would have found that there was some issues with some cards, especially based on those lower spec designs. So that's what I think has actually happened to this product launch. I don't think it's where they actually don't have the stock, although technically they don't. I think they do have the stock, but I'm pretty sure they're either waiting for updated firmware for the cards so they don't boost as high, or maybe they're looking at some way of maybe remanufacturing the cards, taking out the bad components, replacing them with better components. Sorry, I shouldn't say bad components, I should say lesser performing components, because that's not really fair. Also, we've seen other cards go out in the mainstream as OEM cards, basically in bubble wrap, which is a weird thing. I don't think I've ever seen that before with a graphics card launch. I don't know, I've been doing this now into sort of PC stuff since around about 94, 95 when Windows 95 came out. So I've been in this pretty much from the beginning as far as product launches and kind of mainstream stuff goes. And I don't think I've ever seen it where graphics cards have been launched at their kind of peak in OEM wrappers. I've sold them as OEMs because we've had them come into the shop and we've had like a big box from ATI and there's your graphics cards, like all-in-wonder cards or Rage 128s, like really old school stuff, where they did have a specific SKU or SKU for those designs. So it does happen, but for a major product launch, which is supposed to be kind of like the all-singing, all-dancing graphics card, if you spent £700 on your 3080, and it turned up in a bit of bubble wrap, I think you'd be pissed, and I think you'd have every right to be. It isn't the kind of unboxing experience that you'd expect just for it to turn up in some bubble wrap. I think that really does suck. But I'll be interested to see what you guys think about it. Do you care? Would you like to see things actually coming through basically like OEM stuff. Plain cardboard boxes, not all this jazzy stuff. Does it make a difference to you? I'm genuinely interested to know. I actually personally like the boxes because essentially, like, if you've got anything, so say, well, for argument's sake, a Fire TV stick, which is handy. This is cool, it comes in a retail package, so it looks nice. And if I don't want it anymore, I can stick it back in the box, stick it onto Fleabay or Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and I can sell it pretty easily, and it's pretty easy to do from that. People will generally pay a little bit more for a nice bit of packaging. So, what's your thoughts? Okay, let's have a look at some of your questions and see what the hell is going on, because I haven't got a clue. I'm actually going back to the thumbnail for the video, like I do, flipping and flopping all over the place like a wet fish.
Get that beer open.
Oh, yeah, I should get a beer open actually. Let's see what ass tastes like. I think I can vaguely recall it.
From Jackass. Crockass beer.
Ooh. That ass has got a lot of bite. Oh dear. Okay, so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, back to the video. That was what I was talking about. Oh, I'm so forgetful, it's unbelievable. So the thumbnail for the video, I didn't include the thing about the giveaway. We have got a joypad giveaway, which is... Actually, I don't even know where the hell it is. Where the heck is it, Kath? Any thoughts?
What's that, sorry?
Ah, there it is.
Oh, you should have put trousers on.
I should have put trousers on. So we're going to be giving away this. This is from Easy SMX. This is essentially a, well, it's a controller, GamePad. Primarily it is designed for use with the Nintendo Switch. It has got an option to work with a PC if you want to. Works on USB Type-C. Charging time is about 2 hours and it lasts for about 25 days. It's got a working distance of about 10 meters because it's Bluetooth essentially. You can use it wired as well on the PC. Yeah, that is pretty much it. It's got adjustable turbo function, shock effects, etc, etc. This one is in the blue, like it says on the box there. You can get it in different colours. It's a bit misleading on the packaging actually because you think it comes through looking like some sort of Pride thing, but it's not. It just comes through in those individual colours. So if you do want a specific colour, you can buy a colour. But we're giving away the turquoise blue. So if you haven't already entered, Kath's put a link in the chat at the moment. It's also in the video description, so if you do want to be in to win, we'll do a draw on that a little bit later, and we'll be giving that away to one of you lucky viewers. You lucky, lucky people. Generally, you are lucky people. Let's have a look at some of these questions. So Shifty says, hi Mike. Hey Shifty, how you doing? Oh, I've missed out loads of stuff here, I do apologise. David Smith says, I believe Kath is the lady behind the camera.
Shifty asked who I was.
That is her, she is behind the camera. She's actually in the control desk at the moment on the Facebook and the instant messaging and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, she takes care of all that stuff.
Not very well, but...
Skystalker says, lol, I never thought I would hear Mike say, let's see what ass tastes like. I never thought I was going to say it. Not safe for work enabled, yeah. This is pretty good. Yeah, that is pretty good. I do like that. Kath, do you want to try some ass?
Is it your ass?
Yeah. Give the ring a wipe because I didn't.
Do I have to rim it?
Vibe says, will you be reviewing any RTX 3080 cards? I would say no, is my probably honest answer. I generally don't think that a 3080 ties in with what we do here. Yes, it would be good to have a look and to check it over, but realistically, I personally wouldn't spend that sort of money on a graphics card. I don't have an 8K screen, I don't even have a 4K screen to be honest with you, so it's one of those cards which is way, way overpowered for what I would essentially need. The RTX 2060 for me, the KO edition, which I've been playing Microsoft Flight Simulator on, works absolutely fine and does exactly everything I need it to do. I think I'm going to leave the 3080 and the 3090 to the kind of the big boys of YouTube and for those with larger pockets than me. If any of the companies want to send me one for a review, I will certainly take a look at it. But realistically, I don't even have a processor that actually stress it out to give it all the benchmarks and all that kind of stuff. So it would generally be wasted on me. Hopefully,
I was thinking
when the AMD CPUs, that's the word I was looking for. Hopefully when the AMD CPUs launch if there's something which is kind of 8 core 16 thread, which is roughly in my price bracket, I may well splash out. I was very tempted actually today to, I don't know why, I think it must have been the medication or something, but I was seriously considering buying a Ryzen 9 3900X. They do seem to have held their value, and they don't seem to be kind of going up and down all over the place. Now I was looking in the UK, obviously where you are it may be different, but the 3900X has only wavered around about 10 to 15 pounds up or down across the board. So it released, I think, originally for about £400 here in the UK. It went down as low as about 380 at one point, and it's gone up to about 412, 418 at points. So there's only been like a £20 margin between its original retail price, and even now it's at 397 on Amazon. So it's kind of, it's held steady. Now, if you take into consideration something like the Ryzen 5 3600, that originally released over here for, I think it was about 180, 170 thereabouts. We have seen lows of 150, 155, but now still it's back up to 188. So it has increased a lot. There's been much bigger sway or margin on that processor. I suppose supply and demand is the most popular processor, and if you go to Amazon, go into top sellers, the Ryzen 5 3600 in PC stuff is right there at the top, and it hasn't budged for absolutely months.
Can you say hi to Sir Minor?
Can I say hello to Sir Minor? Yes, hello Sir Minor.
Thank you.
Done. Mike Game says I'm learning to code Python. Hey, did you get my ass back? Yes.
That was nice ass.
It's quite nice, isn't it? I do love a good slurp on some ass. Sorry, I can't help it. It's just, it's a play on words, it really is. I'm not sure what it means on Norway, what it means. Actually, hey Google. Yo, Google.
She's ignoring you because you
Hey,
said
Google.
rude things to her earlier.
She is ignoring me. No, the mic is on. She's crashed. I told her to F off earlier and she's upset now. Hello. Hey Google. No, simply not interested. Right, you can go back in the box.
You told her to F you and she gave you loads of facts about animals.
Pierre Plays YouTube says, me too, my 3600 is great. Overclocked a little and it runs like a dream. Oh yeah, going back to my cooler, that's where I was headed earlier before I was distracted by my own stupidity.
I keep saying my because it reminds me of my anus now.
My anus?
Like Jackass.
The Gelid cooler, which I reviewed last week, certainly is a great cooler. And I thought, I'll take it, put it in my system, replace my Noctua, my NHU12S I think it is, and give it a run for its money. It runs really, really well. But when I took it out of my previous setup, I realised that when I did the review with the Ryzen 3 3100, which it actually managed to get some pretty stellar performance from, I realised I actually left the plastic label on the bottom of the CPU. And if you look back at the video, when you can see me actually putting the cooler on, you can actually see, because I'm looking from this side and the tag is that side, there's a little red tag sticking out the bottom. Just between the heat pipes, you can see it where I put it on. So I do apologise, mistakes do happen, and if I misled anyone on the cooling performance of it, I do apologise. Essentially, it's probably about 10 degrees cooler than what it actually was, because that plastic shield is definitely going to make a difference. So I've got roughly the same temperatures now with my Ryzen 5 3600 as I did with my 3100, if that's any comparison. So yeah, it is a really, really good cooler. And to Gelid, I do apologise, I am a useless dipshit. And to the viewers who watched the video and thought, it's not too bad, it is much better than what it actually appeared in the video. So yes. Oh, what's that? Steve Johnson says, Verge says, hi Mike. I did truly make a ass of myself. Sorry, I just stole that from Captain Meat. Do apologise.
Carl the Jackal just above.
Carl the Jackal. Carl the Jackal says, what the hell have I just joined? Slurping on ass and Google with a cob on. Oh no. This is the weird and wonderful world of Mike's Unboxing. For those of you that are on our Discord chat, you'll probably, this is just normal for you. You completely understand it. But for those of you that don't know us so well and probably only see the kind of the semi-polished presentations that I throw up every day, then yeah, you probably see a different side of me. So this is the real me. This is what we do. This is what we're like. We have a laugh. We have a joke. We don't take things too seriously, because ultimately this is just YouTube. It's nothing really important. Yeah, you watch some videos, you get some reviews, you do your thing, but it's all a bit of entertainment essentially. That's what it's all for. We do a little bit of education as well, a little bit of entertainment, and we just have a laugh, because that's what it's all about. Life is far too serious. Although if your name is Kerry Holzman, then possibly you do take things a little bit more seriously, and you do get really, really pissed off with Google, your viewers, your subscribers, and the people that throw money at you. So,
And your advertisers?
oh yeah, and your advertisers as well. Letter says, I love it like this. Ugly Bob says, all this smut is usually reserved for Ikea Shadow's Twitch stream. Yes, unfortunately, actually, that is...
Probably what it is.
we do have to... yeah, I do have to get this out there. Unfortunately, Mr. Ikea Shadow will not be streaming tonight after our stream due to family considerations, I suppose would be the right thing to say. So he's going to be doing it bi-weekly now rather than every Saturday night. So there might be a stream tomorrow night. So if you are interested in having a laugh and a joke and saying some rude words to us, feel free to go over to Ikea Shadow's Twitch and throw a sub on there, or a like, or a follow, or whatever it is you cool kids do these days. I'm not too sure, I don't get it. Mr. Donut says, having a laugh is important. It very much is. Having a laugh is extremely important. These days, yes, there's a lot of technology, and people do get really, really super anal about this stuff. They really do. So, they do get really assy about it.
That means ill, by the way.
Means what? Hill? Does it? Oh, cool. Like, Bryn. Bryn means hill in Welsh. I learned that from the BBC. It's like the only thing I actually took away from them.
You didn't know, did you? You learned it from Gavin and Stacey.
BBC programme. Moving on. Anyway, so yeah, we do take things far too seriously, and people do get really kind of upset and really stuffy about all this stuff, like benchmarks and results and power supplies and voltages, and actually even just calling something the wrong names. Like, you said it was XYZ and it's not, it's ZYX. Like, mate, seriously? Like, what's your problem? Just watch the video, take in the information you like, great. The information you don't like, shut the F up. I don't care. Not bothered. That is what YouTube is all about. But we do get comments like that, and I do try and rectify it. So if I make a mistake, I do own up and say, look, hands up, I'm a dick shit, I've effed up, so I'll try and either redeem myself or just admit to it, which is basically what it's all about. Unlike a certain other YouTuber who...
Let's give lots of love to Kerry.
Yeah, let's give lots of love to Kerry Holzman. Let's send out some prayers and some good wishes. I hope you don't fall off a bridge, please. There.
Don't fall on that broken Coke bottle.
Yeah, don't fall on that Coke broken bottle. Oh, that's horrible. Shouldn't say that. Oh, someone's mentioned about cases in there. The Lanley Lancool 215 mesh case looks awesome. It does. It is essentially the GameMax F15 in a slightly different guise. It is the same case, the same tooling, just slightly different finish on it. But I have actually ordered today a case which will be actually arriving tomorrow. So I might even possibly do a live stream tomorrow. If not, I'll do the video and we'll release it early. I have got hold of the Techware Forge M, which is a full mesh micro ATX case with tons of RGB at a really, really good price point, around like £55 here in the UK. Comes with 4 RGB fans, RGB hub, PWM control, all that kind of usual goodness. You've got a mesh top, you've got a mesh front, loads and loads of mesh everywhere. Airflow Extreme is going to be great. And I have actually ordered, due to one of our Discord members posting a link. It was a motherboard. I don't even know what motherboard it is. All I know is it's an A520. I think it might be a Gigabyte one. I'm not entirely sure. But that's going to be turning up at some point. I'm not sure when, because I was actually really busy. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks cool. Pay now with PayPal. Yeah, okay, done. Forget it, move on. Next thing. So we've got a slight surprise coming in the form of I think a Gigabyte A520 motherboard. And I wanted to do an A520. The A320 motherboards have been really good for this channel, and they've had a ton of views. Sorry, Kath, what was that?
Gigabyte A520 MH.
MH?
Yeah.
Ooh. So Gigabyte A520 MH. Whatever that is, but we'll find out very soon.
ATX board.
Micro ATX, that'll be fun. I don't know why I bought it, but it seemed too good to pass up. But I wanted to do that. A320s, like I said, have been really good for this channel, and there is a massive, massive market for these low-end boards. There really is. I personally like them. They're great for little system builds, just keeping things cheap and cheerful. You can stick a half-decent processor with them, and they generally work pretty fine. Yes, they don't have all the bells and whistles of the kind of the larger ATX boards or the more expensive boards with your Wi-Fi and your M.2s everywhere, RGB coming out your ass, loads and loads of RAM slots, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you don't get all that stuff. But if you just want to get a PC up and running and you've got limited funds, then the A320 was always the way to go. But now we've got these A520 boards, and I'm genuinely actually relatively excited. Not completely excited because it is low end, but I am actually excited to see how well it does. From what I can tell, this particular board, having a very, very, very quick look at it, it does appear to have exactly the same VRM setup, give or take, as the B450 Aorus Elite, which actually didn't have a particularly bad VRM set. It worked very well. Not as good as some of the MSI boards, the Tomahawk and the Gaming Pro, or sorry, Gaming Plus, or Gaming Plus Max, whatever it was, but still had a pretty decent VRM. And for an entry-level board to have that level of VRM on what would have been previously a mid-range board is actually quite an interesting proposition. Ryzen 3 processors now, especially the newer ones, 3000 series, don't overclock massively, so the need for overclocking is becoming less and less. It's more important these days to have precision boost overclock enabled and actually just let the thermals and the temperatures do their own thing and let it boost as high as it can for as long as it can. And this generally works really well for a lot of people, and most of the people that put together a PC, yes, they will overclock just to see what they can get to get the benchmarks, but most people then dial it back down to a more everyday kind of level after anyway. So realistically, do we still need to be twinkering in the BIOS? Wouldn't it be nice just to grab a processor, put it into a motherboard, strap on some decent cooler, and just let it go hell for leather whenever it can, which is what I'm hoping it will do. So yes, that will be coming up soon. I really, really do want to get hold of an APU, the next generation APU, but it does seem that although the cores are going to be faster, the actual graphics inside it is going to be worse. I think we've plateaued. I think the Vega 11 in the 2400G, 3400G, I think has going to be the kind of the high point of what APUs have been able to do. Looking at the new chips, it looks like there's going to be a Vega 10 rather than a Vega 11, although it is going to be on that 7nm process, so it should be more efficient and should be able to do more. But I was hoping to see something better, maybe a Vega 15 or a Vega 20. That would have been, well, no, 20 is probably pushing it a little bit much. But you know what I mean, I would have loved to have seen a big performance jump like we did between the 3 to the 8 to the 11. That would have been amazing, especially on a decent A520 motherboard. I think that would be the makings of a killer office stroke gaming PC. I don't know, what do you think? And let's see what you guys think. British Noob says, good stream so far. Sorry I'm not talking that much, just listening and watching for trouble. There is trouble everywhere. If you look hard enough, you will definitely find it. Where's my ass? Thank you, Cosmic. Appreciate.
Got a match there now.
Hmm?
Got a match. Your ass and your face.
Did anybody hear that? Did that come across? Did you hear that? Kath said I got a good match now. My ass, my face. Wow. Hurtful. Very, very hurtful. Kath, open the Skittles.
You can't eat them yet.
It's snack time, ladies and gents. Let's get involved. Let's get some snacks on the table. Alexa says, and I'm back. Girlfriend was freaking out. Had to kill a spider. Ooh, spiders. Don't like them.
Which gun?
Aspects. What's all the hype about the RTX 3000 series? It certainly seems that they've borked them on launch already. Captain These Adventures, I'm not going to read that out, but yeah. Alexa says, I don't look for trouble, it looks for me. Ricardo says, what did Mike take? Yeah. Ugly Bob says, open them slowly. Oh yeah, because they could be... Ooh.
They're like Smarties, they're flatter.
Let's have a look, see what this deal's on. So they are like, in the UK, what we call Smarties, which are essentially a flatter M&M.
Flatter Smarties as well, I think.
Oh my god, they taste lush.
They do, don't they?
Holy crap. They're good. There must be an absolute metric shit ton of sugar in there. Woo! So it's Frida dark chocolate,
They're dark chocolate.
63% in a crispy sugar shell. Main ingredients, sugar. Sugar, sugar, glazing agent, sugar,
And that's
Canuba wax, good for polishing cars. Flavorings, sugar, may contain nuts and wheat, sugar.
nice.
Okay, so basically it's just sugar. But those taste bloody amazing. We like that.
Tell what you ate earlier. That tasted of almonds.
Ugly Bob says this is where we find out that they taste like pickled herring. That is a Norwegian delicacy, I believe. James Miscellaneous says, in the United States, Smarties are tangy, colourful sugar discs. Oh, I like Smarties. That sounds much better. That is good. Ricardo says, let's hope not to get a sugar punch live. What's a sugar punch? Is that like a sugar high? I don't think I could be much higher at the moment. I'm feeling on top of the world. Which is actually, Alexa says, sugar is the gateway drug. Yeah, it definitely is. Aspects, don't get a sugar rush. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too crazy. Richard says, I missed the first 15 minutes. What's the deal with the drinks and snacks sponsorship? Mayhap. No, it's actually from one of our viewers. Who's been a long-time viewer, a little bit of a lurker in the Discord.
Different taste in each colour.
They're all different tasting, are they? Oh, amazing. Yeah, this comes from one of our viewers who lives over in Norway. They said we should sample some of their ass pilsner and some of their turbo pills, which we'll be trying next.
And they've sent you a good head.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We like that. Not sure if it'll take over from Carlsberg, although it would appear they're trying very hard to. Don't drink and stream, kids. It's very bad. Oh, Soten Jill says pickled herring is a weird dish from Sweden. Sweden's near Norway, isn't it? Is that close? My geography is absolutely horrendous. Don't make me leave the country. I'm screwed. Actually, don't make me leave our county. Pierre Plays YouTube says, I googled American Smarties. They're basically fizzers. Fizzers? Skystalker says, turbo pills, ruh-roh. The stream is going to go off the rails fast. Dave Bird says, leave the drinking streams to the pros, please. Brackets, me. Okay, so let's try the turbo pills. Apparently this is from a band in Norway, who actually, the lead singer is actually from the UK. And on the side, it says pliss. I'm not sure what pliss means. Does that mean like pissed? I don't know. Let's see what it tastes like.
Steve Johnson said a few more days you won't be allowed to leave Bristol.
Yeah, that's true. Steve Johnson, a few more days you won't be allowed to leave Bristol. Why would I want to leave Bristol? Bristol is a fantastic place, full of lots of
People.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I want to leave.
But we didn't really even leave the house.
Oh, that's good as well. That's a 4.7 volume, so. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Oh, that goes down very smoothly.
Is that a good head?
No, yeah, that's the good head. Try that, Cav. Richard says, okay, might have to send you some delicacies from across the bridge. How's lava bread and cockles tickle your fancy? We do love cockles. Cav likes a cockle or two.
I didn't like cockles, they're too sandy.
Sorry, do apologise.
Not sandies.
Lava bread, not tried that.
My mum wants to try lava bread.
Cav's mum wants to try lava bread. Ugly Bob, good head, goes down smooth. Smut circuits activated. Dave Burns says, Cav just had good head.
That's the best head I've had.
Talia Navid says, they are all going to be good. They will be. Alexa says, Bristol sounds like Ohio. The only reason I live here is because the house is paid for. Bristol's actually a really nice place. It genuinely is. There's so much going on. And there's so many different kind of places in Bristol which are really, really different, but all very, very similar at the same time.
But we're quite introverted.
So, yeah, we're pretty introverted. We don't really get out and socialise much, but there is so much to do in Bristol. There is a lot of things you can go to. You used to be able to go to the Colston Hall, but they're not allowed to call it that anymore because of like slave trading and what have you. So
we don't even know what's called.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called.
Hall?
Yeah, could be called anything now. It could be called Mike's Unboxing Hall for the Hard of Hearing. I don't know. Could be anything. Ugly Pop says Bristol is like Detroit. I'm not sure if it's like Detroit. It might be like Detroit actually. I did watch RoboCop once. Yeah, old Detroit. Pierre Plays YouTube says Bristol is amazing. Skystalker says smoked salmon and maple syrup equals Canada. Ooh. Paul Bakewell says great nights out in Bristol. Do you know what? I have never ever, no tell a lie, I went out for a night once I think, maybe twice in Bristol. And it was never my thing. I never really went out very much. I was always busy doing stuff like, well, gaming or buying stuff off Trade It or eBay or something like that. Glenn says, I know a couple of guys that went to Bristol Uni. They liked it there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Bristol is pretty decent. There's a lot of worse places.
Like everywhere around Bristol, isn't there?
Yeah. Let's get back to animation. Ugly Bob says there's a Noah's Ark zoo farm law. There is. Noah's Ark. We've been there loads of times. Well, I personally haven't, but Kath and the kids have been there multiple times. Mr. Donut says, I'm very antisocial. Dave Bell says, the longest student union bar in the UK. Really? Bristol is really renowned for some things. Unfortunately, slave trading was one of them back in the old days. Most crime in one street in Europe, in another area. Then you've got really good unis, loads of bars, loads of nightlife, and some pretty nice scenery. And it's like literally, you kind of jump outside of Bristol a couple of miles in any direction and you're basically in completely open green space. It's really, really nice if you want to get away. But it's also really built up as well in certain places. So yeah, and you get your kind of your posh areas, you get your suburban areas, you get your rough as hell areas where you don't want to stay and you don't want to walk through, like you do in most places. It's pretty good. Yes, let's go. Yeah, Dave Burns says it was a slave trader's hall. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to change it to. Dave Burns says, I hear Bristol is great for chasing dragons. It used to be. I don't think it is so much now, but it used to be. Very much if you're into your kind of mythological wildlife. Ricardo says, a question, Mike. This should be good. My budget is really tight. I know that feeling. Would you recommend me a Ryzen 5 2600 and B450 Pro Wi-Fi in 2020? Can't afford anything expensiver or more expensive. Yeah, definitely. Actually, the PC behind me is a B450 gigabyte board, the Aorus Elite, and it is running a Ryzen 5 2600, and it actually runs really well. And funny enough, I have been asked to do some kind of demos or benchmarks for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And that is essentially the kind of the recommended specs. So Ryzen 5 2600 and an RX 570 on a B450, which is perfect. And actually, spoiler alert, I've played it on there and it runs fine, which is weird because if you get a sort of 9900K or some of the high-end processors, even with a RTX 2080, when you turn up the resolution, the detail, it runs like crap, it really does. But just running the game on the specs that it selects, it's still 1080p, looks absolutely fine and plays absolutely fine. So I don't really understand what all the kind of like, oh my god, I can't play the game because it's only 20 frames per second. Like, what are you doing with it? What have you actually enabled? Have you got anti-aliasing on full whack? Have you got all the settings up to max? If you've got all the settings up to max, yeah, it's going to struggle. Realistically, it's like playing Google Maps, which loads slowly on anything. So yeah, the game's going to load slowly. But if you temper your expectations, lower your settings, pretty much any game will run on any system. And Flight Sim 2020 on there is absolutely fine. Ugly Bob says, I was once arrested outside of Templemead's train station. True story. I don't want to know what for. James Miscellaneous says, now everything sounds dirty. Even my budget is really tight. This stream's making me impure and I love it. That's what this is all about. Like, yeah, we're all into our tech, but ultimately we're human beings. We just want to have a laugh, have some fun, have some entertainment on a Saturday night, chill out with our friends, and just be cool. And it's getting harder and harder to do it. And people are getting more and more uptight, and there's these lockdowns and that kind of stuff, and people's mental health is suffering. I gotta be straight with you guys and girls, my mental health is shot to shit. It really is right now. I think a lot of people's are. You get the kind of ups and downs. Luckily, shill to the max. I've got my Q-Link, which is running overtime at the moment. I'm gonna have to strap a few more of these suckers on, I think, just to combat the effects at the moment. But a combination of the kind of
Magic blue pill.
the COVID coming up again, like the numbers going up again. We've got all this shit going on in the press with like everything's going on. Oh yeah, we're going to lock down this, we're going to lock down that. It's like, oh God, every single day. You wake up in the morning and you just hear it no matter where you go, even leaving the house. Everyone's walking around in masks and looking really like pissed off and down and depressed. And you got Nvidia, yeah, you got Nvidia launches which are screwed up. There's no stock. People can't buy stuff. We're waiting for AMD processors. Yeah, we're like in a really weird place. We went from being kind of in May, April, May, where like, yeah, we're locked down. It doesn't seem too bad right now. The sun's shining. We're out in the garden. We're chilling. We're still getting paid from the government. Like, this ain't too bad. This could be a lot worse. Now it's got dark on the night time. Things are starting to look a little bit shit-shaped. So people's mental health is suffering. And yeah, I'll be honest, mine is and has. And I do go up and down all the time like a lot of people do. So that is why on our Discord, if you have got issues with your mental health, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to vent your spleen because you got issues and problems, or you just think there's no one you can actually talk to or be coughed at, then...
Sorry, that head was a little bit fizzy then.
Kath got a bit of head stuck in her throat there, do apologise for that. But that is what we're going to do. So on the Discord, we're going to have a dedicated private channel. So if you want to come in, have a chat, chew the fat, have a laugh, discuss your problems, or just to moan at someone else and say, oh my God, like things are looking pretty shit at the moment, and just get it off your chest without having to keep it all inside, please feel free to do that. We're going to be doing that. That's going to be live from Monday. So if you want to go somewhere that is kind of safe, well, as safe as you can be on the internet.
We're not professionals.
We aren't professionals, we're not counsellors, we're not advisors. All we are people that have been on the planet long enough to know that we all get down from time to time and everyone needs a little bit of a boost now and then. So definitely we're going to do that. So if you want to come over and join us on our Discord, we are going to have somewhere that you guys can go and girls can go. So if you want somewhere safe, you can have a chat, maybe even have a laugh and just talk about the darker side of life and still be kind of keeping it real, but having someone to basically lean on and someone to talk to, which I think is very important these days. So that is something we're definitely going to be doing because we love PCs, we love you guys, and we want to make sure that everyone's happy, healthy, and yeah, keeping their shit together up here. So Glenn sent a £5 donation in, and he said, I got hoisted once for asking a young looking copper if his daddy had him out for a run in the van. Oh dear, that's bad.
Go back up to excited.
Excited, I got to go back up. Go back up. Excited. 10600 or 3600 XT. Depends what you're doing. If it's purely for gaming or video creation, I would probably go with the 10600. If it's for general purpose, then I would probably go with the AMD. It's always a difficult one. I really don't like choosing between Intel or AMD processor wise. It is a difficult choice to make. It does depend greatly on what you're doing. The Intel chips are definitely going to have the upper hand performance per clock. I think the 10600 is probably going to be slightly dearer, and the motherboard might be a little bit dearer if you're... Actually, that's not okay, is it? So you don't even have to have an overclocking board. I'd probably go with 3600, although you probably can't overclock that very much anyway, because it's probably quite heavily clocked out of the box. There we go. Kelvin says, Mike, would you build a keyboard? Hell no. Why would I do that?
You don't know the alphabet.
Yeah, I struggle just taking the caps off. Building a keyboard, no. I wouldn't mind, actually, if I had to build the perfect keyboard, it wouldn't be the perfect keyboard. It would be the most cost-effective keyboard that feels nice to use. Which I think is what a lot of people will probably want. I do, definitely, because I use a keyboard for typing. I don't really look at it very much, apart from maybe when I'm working out what key I've pressed instead of pressing the one I actually wanted to press. But I don't really look at a keyboard much. I generally tend to be typing, so it's more of a tactile thing. So I don't really care too much what it looks like. It doesn't necessarily have to have RGB. It doesn't have to have kind of aluminium top or any kind of special stuff. As long as it works and it's relatively nice looking and it feels nice and it's got good action, then I'm sold. I hate to say it because it's a budget keyboard, but a GameMax Strike with the red Otomu switches, which are basically a cheap ass switch. They are a super, super cheap switch. But I really love using that keyboard. It just feels really nice to use. Red linear switches for me all the way. I've got the brown Cherry MX browns in the Rio Toro keyboard behind. And I find that difficult to use after I've used the reds. I don't know whether it's the key action or the spacing. I think it's probably the spacing, because that is actually quite a large keyboard. Whereas the Strike, the keys are a little bit closer together.
Dave's going.
Dave Burns. So yeah, I don't think I'd build a keyboard. If I did, I don't think it'd sell very well, because I'd probably just get the GameMax Strike, pull off the GameMax logo and put a Mike's Unboxing logo on it and be done with it. Bye Dave, I think.
Yeah.
Dave Bell, did he just say my budgies are really tight? I didn't say budgies, did I?
I don't think you did, but they agreed that you did.
Okay, maybe I did. My budgie smugglers are really tight. Okay. Richard says, I'm sorry to take the chat away from the ass and tightness and all those kinds of smutty things, but how much was the A520 that you ordered, Mike? I think it was £52.
Do you want me to check?
Can do.
It was 50 something.
It was 50 something. It was in the low 50s, I'm sure, because otherwise I wouldn't have paid for it. The reason it was a little bit cheaper as well, because it was an open box, and also I didn't pay for any extra delivery. It's basically their snail mail kind of, it'll get here when it gets here kind of deal. How much is it, sorry, Kath?
53.01.
£53 and a penny.
And then after VAT, 53.02.
Added VAT, 53.02.
Weird.
CCL. I don't know why I do it to myself. I've done it again. I bought something else from CCL, which no doubt is going to turn up and going to be absolutely wrecked. Either not work or have bits missing.
Calvin's off.
But I did do it on PayPal, so if anything goes wrong, I'll be like, hello, Mr. PayPal. Yeah, it does fave, get me money back from CCL because they're being bastards. Oh yeah, them again? Yeah, okay, thanks for that. Cheers, bye. Job done. Although you can't do it on the phone because there's no phones there. Who's going?
Calvin.
Bye, Kelvin. I'm looking at the screen. Bye, Kelvin. I was looking at the text. Martin says, just had to ask, do you think Intel graphics card, the XEs I guess you're talking about, will come really close to match Nvidia or AMD on performance? Well, from what I can gather, the XE actually outclasses the AMD Vega graphics, the class for the integrated graphics already, the APUs. So as far as laptops go, yeah, I think Intel are going to retain the crown on that. If they can keep the pricing right, it's going to have a really good processor. The 11 series of the mobile chips actually do perform really, really well. And if the graphics will do better than a Ryzen APU, yeah, they're onto a winner. I don't know about how the desktop version is going to go. But saying that, if AMD can do it by taking the Vega cores from the APUs and either making them bigger or taking the big cores and making them smaller for the APUs, if they've managed to do it, I don't see why Intel and all their trillions and trillions of dollars in R&D can't do something very, very similar. It would be really nice actually to have Intel actually in the main kind of competitive space with a graphics card, which is competitive, good price. Wouldn't it be really nice to actually have an all Intel system? That would be pretty unusual, and that hasn't happened for an awfully long time, apart from the kind of APU stuff. But I think the last time I had an all Intel system was with a Intel AGP 740 card, I think it was. Very, very long time ago. With probably something like a Celeron 433 or something. Really, really long time ago since Intel have been even remotely competitive in the graphics card market, if at all. James Miscellaneous says, Mike's unboxing reviews now too. It's me. Completely agree. The whole world needs to calm down. Yeah. Like in, what was that film? Is it Shaun of the Dead? Can't we all just calm the down? Wise words. Skystalker is replied and said, yep, that is a bit of a question. I would suggest that AMD is a good solution right now. Totally agree, my friend. Matthew Day says an SSD, SSD, and take two. And Matthew Day says, I SSD'd my friend's laptop and it was a massive fight to find a tool that would do the migration for free. Most instructions no longer work as the feature has been pulled from the free versions. Did you not use Macrium? Macrium generally is pretty good for that, the free edition, for migration.
I think that was in our Discord text, so did you miss it?
Oh, sorry, I missed a question. This is from GamePad. I asked this question a little bit earlier, guess you missed it, but I have a Ryzen 3 3200G with no GPU and looking for a GPU. Any suggestions? Anything I would say from, well, like an RX 570 would be ideal. Depends on your budget and what you're really aiming for. You could really, with that Ryzen 3 3200, that's a 4-core processor, so you probably don't want to go too much higher than maybe a 1660 Super would probably be about the maximum I'd pair with that without running into too many bottlenecks. Game dependent, of course, but I would say RX 570, RX 580, 590 would be fine. Anything after that is probably kind of putting a little bit too much load on the CPU. Aletta says, now this is a sad one, so like this is serious shit. Since the lockdown started in my area, deaths from COVID 0, deaths from suicide 17. Some bad shit, it really is. And I don't think the government is helping at all. Here in the UK, we're getting these really, really messed up mixed messages where it's like, don't do this, do this, do that, do this, do that. And you don't know what you're doing.
Can't do that, do this.
Yeah, and if you can't do something else. And it's like,
we don't even know what our lockdown rules are.
You go into the next county or the next city, street or whatever, and they've got another set of rules and you just don't know if you're coming or going. And it's just like, actually, F it. Don't worry, I was going to stay indoors. I'll do all my shopping online. Screw the economy, screw the high street. Let's just have a cup of tea and wait for all this to blow over. And that is pretty much where most people are at the moment with it all. It's just, all that kind of socialising, going out, enjoying yourself, it's just really difficult to do now. So yeah, this is why more than ever, we're going to be setting up that room in our Discord so that people can have a chat and talk about the darker side of life, which exists. It's a real thing. You can't avoid it. It is part and parcel of everyday life now. So let's make the most of it. Let's have a bit of fun, have a bit of a laugh, get the dark stuff off our chests, and yeah, move on. And support each other, which is really important. Ivory Wolfman said, I had bad news this month. InWin don't post to Ireland. No Saturn 140s for me. Oh man, that's terrible. Tala said, what's the red can? This is Kanza Premium Liz Pilsner. First brewed in 1891. That must be out of date by now, surely. Oh no, it's good till the 25th of the 5th, 2021. Awesome, long life. Dave Bell says the laptops, the AMD versus Intel will be really close interesting, below the gaming level. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you guys saw the reviews I did this week. So I did the Acer Nitro 5. I still love that laptop, I really do. The combination of that Ryzen 5 processor, which is the 3550H, which is the higher wattage version, excuse me, which can go up to 35 watts. Really can squeeze some power out of that little processor. It really is cool. You've got a built-in Vega 8 graphics as well, and also you've got that 4GB, was it RX? No, sorry, not the RX, that was the 1650 in there, which surprisingly good. I was actually very impressed. I did originally have the previous version, which was with the 25550H processor and the RX 560, and it wasn't as quick by a relatively large margin. I really did enjoy using that. Unfortunately, it was somebody bought it for a present for somebody else, and they said, Mike, do you want to unbox it and take a look at it? It's like, hell yeah, these things are great. So I took a look at it, yeah, and I wasn't disappointed. It is very, very cool. And a pretty good price as well, around like £600 for a gaming laptop, which will play Fortnite at 60 frames per second at Ultra. Yeah, what's there not to like? It is a really cool piece of kit. And having an Intel graphics card means that you don't have to suffer the Radeon Error 43 code every time you start the bloody thing up.
Zara's Coins asked, what's your thoughts on computer science right now?
What is my thoughts on computer science?
Right now I'm working on an assignment for a class in coding. I'm using C++. Hello world.
What are my thoughts on computer science? I think that computer science has got to such a point now where we're at the kind of the nanoscale technology that things have kind of gotten a little bit away from academia, if that makes any sense. Let me try and clarify that. Sorry, need some turbo pilsner. Good. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, back in the day, you had transistors, gates, power delivery systems, relays, capacitors, all those kind of stuff. Then it was tangible stuff. You could go down to your local Radio Shack, your Tandy, you could buy a circuit board, solder on a load of stuff, and you could make a computer, effectively. Excuse me. Just like Bill Gates probably didn't, but obviously Steve Jobs and those guys, Bill Wozniak, they were the people that were doing that sort of thing. They were basically buying components off the shelf, building computers, programming them, and making computers. Whereas now, if you take a computer apart, you look inside the CPU, there's like 1 billion transistors in there. So it's gone from the point of being something that you can tangibly touch, hold, solder, move, change, whatever, to this crazy nanometer scale, which kind of blows your mind. When you look at these pictures on the internet, if you see a processor, you think, yeah, it's a processor. But when you see actually inside and you see these kind of exploded microscopic views of everything that's going on there, it's like, how is that even possible to make or to produce? It just blows my mind. It absolutely does. How you can fit so much technology, so many transistors and stuff into such a small package. It just doesn't compute in my head. So when you're trying to think about programming and all the different elements of programming to make that basically transistor do what it needs to do, with all those different instruction sets, which now has gone from kind of like a very small, maybe 100 instructions to thousands and thousands of instructions that it can do every second, it's just mind-blowing. And I've never personally been into coding. I've always found coding to be one of those things that is very alien to me, and I don't quite understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah, the cat's snoring.
The cat is snoring. I've never really understood it, so it's not something I've ever got into. I've tried doing very, very basic coding, C++, like the kind of hello world stuff, and I don't really enjoy it. So it's one of those things that's kind of passed me by. I need something tangible. Like when you're working on a car, yeah, if you want to take the wheel off, you undo the wheel nuts, the wheel comes off. That makes sense to me because it's a physical thing that I can see and I can move and I can do stuff with. With code and with CPUs and all these really, really small transistors, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, yes, I'm telling it to do something. There's loads of stuff going on behind the scenes which I don't understand, and it displays something on the screen. It's bizarre. So science has got to the point now where it's for the super, super big brainy people that kind of really know their electronics, whereas me, no. I struggle with a 12-volt relay. Ugly Bob says, what helped me was being able to go back to the gym again when it reopened. So good for blowing off steam. Now, talking of that, we have actually been sent this week from, what's the store called? I've God, I'm so useless at all this stuff. Armada Store.
Yeah.
Armada Store, oh, sorry, Armada Deals.
Store.
.co.uk is that, or .com? It might be .co.uk, I think it's a UK site. Go on, Kath, scroll. You can do it.
Scrolling.com.
Armada Deals?
Yeah, AA.
Armadadeals.com. Kath's going to post it in the video description or the chat right now. But they've reached out to us, and obviously they've probably seen the videos and said, Mike, you're looking like a tubby bastard. You really need to get some of those COVID pounds off you. So they've said, we've opened up a store. We're selling loads of different like cool items. A lot of it actually ships from the UK. Would you be interested in taking a look? So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. What do you want to send? They're like, well, we've got this exercise bike. Like, you saying I'm fat? Okay.
They have eyes.
Yeah, they got eyes, they can see. It's a wide angle lens, what can I do? So anyway, they've sent me this exercise bike, and it's been brilliant because I did my back in, like I said, early part of the week. So it arrived, I think it was Thursday? Thursday it arrived, didn't it? So yeah, it arrived Thursday. Wednesday my back was getting a little bit better, I was up and about doing stuff. So Thursday, got the bike, assembled it, put it all together, and I've been using it now for 3 days, and I can say definitely, hand on heart, wherever it is, somewhere in there, that my back is actually feeling much better, and I've got a lot of mobility. And also, I did notice this morning when I got up out of the shower,
You got Shakira hips.
yeah, got my Shakira hips going. I could see in the mirror a little bit of definition coming on the abdominals, which I haven't seen that shit in a long time. So that was like, yes, cool, it is worth it. So about 15-20 minutes a day on the exercise bike to strengthen my back and my inner core, and yeah, doing good. So happy days. They've asked me to do a review on the bike, which is coming out sort of mid-October. So hopefully between now and then, there'll be some noticeable improvements in my overall physique. And actually, it turned out to be really cheap. You know what I'm like? I am a cheapskate at the end of the day. And they said, well, we've got this exercise bike, it's £160, which immediately I was like, £160? Then I looked into it a little bit further on Amazon and eBay, all those usual places. And actually, that is really cheap for an exercise bike. I didn't realise how expensive these things had got. I don't know whether it's a COVID thing or whatever, but anyway. So they've sent it, I've used it, I'm loving it. It's all good. So you'll be seeing more of that coming up in a few weeks. But yeah, that is key to, I think, your mental well-being. Like Bob said, exercise is really, really key. Now, a lot of us, because we're into our PC stuff, whether we're not that healthy, whether we've got disabilities, whatever the case may be, it isn't always easy to get around and do stuff. I get it, I totally do, because I do my back in quite regularly because I don't look after myself. Sat in front of a computer, answering questions, making videos. If I'm not sat here, I'm sat there on my editing desk, so I do a lot of sitting down. There's not a lot of movement apart from maybe doing some B-roll, moving the camera around.
Sitting on your exercise bike.
Yeah, it's stupid angles. It's not good, so you do need to get some exercise. Ugly Bob says, nice exercise bike, flash its BIOS. It actually has got a built-in computer, so I could do that.
And a phone holder.
And a phone holder, and an iPad holder, so you can actually, even if you are a lazy mofo, you can still sit on it, put your iPad there and just pedal away, watching the latest episode of The Boys or whatever the case may be, which is what I've been doing. But it's very good, and that is it. The key, I think, to well-being, health, keeping it all together up here is a little bit of exercise, a little bit of conversation with people, not sitting in front of a PC all day long. Kath is saying a little bit of, that is entirely up to you with the person of your preference, or animal, minimal, vegetable, I don't care. You go for your life. But a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you keep yourself healthy. That's what it's all about. This stream's really going bad. Mr. Donut says, I'm fat and proud. Right on, brother. I'm getting there. And it's so easy to do. When you get to a certain time of life, it does get a lot easier. Like even just eating the normal foods that you'd normally eat. As life goes on, metabolism slows down, you get more sedentary, you don't do so much, you don't burn so many calories, so you do pile it on. Before you notice it, it's like, man, I'm really out of shape, and then you get like, oh, I'm depressed because I'm out of shape, and you eat more because you're depressed, or you drink more because you're depressed. So a little bit of exercise, a little bit of kind of looking after yourself a little bit more, will definitely help with your mental well-being. I'm a firm believer in that. Ugly Bob's brought it down to that level again. It says, lol, Mike's sweaty ass. The can was sweating, the ass.
I've got it.
No.
I've got your ass over here.
Kath's got my ass in her hands, damn it.
I got your ass in my mouth.
I nearly lost my turbo pills then. I did see a question. Skystalker says, I believe I will be looking at the 12-core 5000 series CPU. I guess that is the 5900X, but if that is the flagship product, it will be an expensive product. Sad face. Oh, excuse me. It will be.
That's working, eh?
It will be. I never understood that device. I think I am genuinely interested to see what happens with this AMD stuff in the next few days, weeks, months. What was it, October the 7th or 8th, I think, for the CPUs, and the 25th or something for the GPUs. I'm really struggling. I've got some money I've got to put aside. I really want to buy a processor. And like I said earlier, I was looking at 3900X thinking, that is the best value for money right now. It hasn't changed in price much. I would really like that. Early Christmas present to myself. But then I know what's going to happen. A couple of weeks' time, they're going to announce those new 5000 CPUs, and they're going to be really good, really competitive prices. And my £400 processor, which I'd have just bought, is going to be worth about £350, £325. And it's going to really, really suck. And I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to wait. I've waited this long. I've waited through the summer months. I've waited through what seems to be the eternal autumn months, which we're in now.
So basically you've waited through the whole lockdown.
Yeah, I basically waited through lockdown to buy a processor. I'm tempted to get another 3100. The Ryzen 3 3100 is a really cool processor. Anyway. Zara's Coin says, I lost £10. Went down from an adult unisex XXL to XL. Good for you, man. That's awesome. From £218, or is that pounds or kilos Americans do? Can't be kilos, it's got to be half a ton, wouldn't it? Quarter of a ton. Must be pounds. 218 down to 208. Go for it.
I'd say that's pounds. Oh. Where am I? That's too far back. I was looking at Tristan's.
Tristan G says, Skystalker, I decided to go for the Ryzen 9 3900X, just installed it today. I'll wait for the 5000 series, certainly would like, but can't wait. Yeah, if you can't wait for a processor at the moment, the 3900X is pretty much your best bang for buck. It's a lot of buck and a lot of bang, but it is very, very good value for money. I would really hurt myself right now if I had to buy a Ryzen 5 3600. If I actually had to buy one, I would be so much thinking in the back of my mind, this used to be so much cheaper and it's going to be so much cheaper in a few weeks' time. So I wouldn't do it. Mr. Donut says The Boys is getting very interesting. Yeah, I've just got into that recently actually, watching some Amazon. That is the one thing, I do love buying stuff from Amazon, and a benefit of Amazon and Amazon Prime. And actually, if you are signed up to Amazon Prime or you're renewing or whatever, do it for our affiliate links. It's really good for our channel. We get a little bit of a kickback. It doesn't cost you anything else. Literally nothing at all. And if anything you want to buy on Amazon, just go to our Discord or to one of our videos, click on our link, the affiliate link. It doesn't matter if it's the right one or not. Just click on it to get into Amazon. Anything you buy after that, we get a little bit of a kickback. So it really does help us keep the channel going and keep us in Norwegian lager. Shill over. Yes, the Boys is getting very interesting. I was gutted. I started watching it more. I did my back in, so I thought I'll just bulk watch the whole thing because it's been recommended by a few people, and it's like, don't really like the look of it. And yeah, totally hooked straight in. So if you're looking for something to watch and you're in COVID times, at the moment you can't go out, you've got nothing to do, get yourself an Amazon Prime account. You can get it for free actually, 30-day free trial, so you can basically binge watch shitload of TV and it won't cost you anything.
You can get it for free and you can cancel it the same day.
Yeah.
And still get your 30 days.
Yeah, sign up literally like now. open up another tab on your window, sign up now, get your 30-day trial.
But-
You can cancel it the same day or the next day. So you don't get billed after the 30 days, but you can still use your Amazon Prime for 30 days, watch your TV, get your free shipping on products, all that kind of good stuff. I don't think I could be without Amazon Prime now. I really don't. I use it a lot, an awful lot. It's, yeah, love it. Anyway.
No spoilers.
Zard's Coin says, did you see that on AMD's fan store, they released a mountain and cruiser bike? I did like the AMD mountain bike. I would have been quite tempted at that. But they sold out very, very quickly. Pierre Plays YouTube says, I'm getting a fat back pay. I had to think really carefully when I was reading that then, because that was a real head twister. I'm getting a fat back pay, and I need this announcement to come out to see whether I get a 3700X, 3900X, or a new CPU. I think we're all in the same way. We're all waiting, just waiting. That's the thing I hate about this type of just being on pools. You want to get on, get stuff, buy stuff, do the reviews, enjoy it, use it, see what it's like. It's really annoying not being able to do it. Irie Wolfman says, same here, was waiting for a 3300X but no stock. Yeah, the 3300X has been basically out of stock almost since launch. I think I know 2 people that have got one. Whereas the 3100 you can get easy. And actually they're selling, here in the UK, you can get the 3100 on the used market for £70 from an actual store with a 2-year warranty, which is actually better than the warranty you get from AMD. Go figure. So if you want one of those, cex.co.uk, just type in Ryzen 3 3100. They got loads of them. Don't know how. Skystalker says, Mike's unboxing reviews now too. Maybe we can work out a deal. Shipping a processor from Canada is not that expensive. Hey, sounds good to me. Yosam88 says, RTX 2070 and Ryzen 2600 here. Should I upgrade? Maybe. Do you enjoy playing your games? Is it frustrating to use your computer? Is it too slow? Have you bought a new monitor and you need a higher resolution? Personally, I would say RTX 2070 and Ryzen 2600 is a very, very slight mismatch. The 2600 is a little bit underpowered for that, I would say, but not a massive amount. Processor-wise, even if you upgraded to a Ryzen 5 3600, you wouldn't see a massive, massive gain. It would be marginally noticeable, but not massive. So I would say probably not. I would stay where you are. Wait at least a month, see what's coming out, and then make a decision then based on the new pricing. Destiny's Grave says, I lost £10 once. It was between the couch cushions. Ba-boom. I was waiting for someone to say that. I really was. Yosam88 says, thanks, I play on 1440p, though I'm tempted by the new card to see what AMD is doing. Yep, I get the idea. I like that. Jensen Hung. Well then. That is probably related to... I should have never let any of you inside my kitchen. You probably shouldn't have. It was a bad idea. The kitchen should have been stayed out of bounds. You should have been less worried about cooking the books than you should have been sorting out your graphics cards. If you look up Jensen Hung on YouTube or internet, you'll realise who that's supposed to be. Yosamini says, Big Navi going to be better, cheaper? What do you guys think? Well, actually, listening to some of the content and some of the kind of, I wouldn't say insider, because I don't think anyone actually is an insider these days. Everyone's kind of in and out like everything. The Big Navi looks like the top of the range card is going to be slightly faster than the 3090. The next one down is going to be slightly faster than the 3080. The The caveat is it's very, very marginal, and it's only in rasterization based games. It does seem that Nvidia's RTX cores, the new Ampere cores, are much faster than the Radeon versions in the new RDNA cards, or sorry, RDNA 2 cards. So the new AMD cards are not going to be as fast in hardware ray tracing as the Nvidia models. But it does seem that for normal tasks, rasterization, so basically games, they are going to be marginally faster. And from what we've seen or heard, looks like they could be cheaper as well, which is only going to be a good thing. So Yosam88, is Big Navi going to be cheaper and better? Yes, is essentially the answer. And if Nvidia are going to still continue to have troubles with supply and potentially with construction, then AMD could definitely be onto a winner. If they manage to sort the drivers out, they get the architecture right, and the pricing is good, I think AMD graphics cards will start to pull ahead very, very slightly. And maybe they'll take back some of that market share. I would love for it to happen. I really would. So Tinjel says CEO of Nvidia, hint hint. Yeah. Actually, yeah, Skystalker, like he says, yeah, to be fair, Mr. Nvidia does have a nice kitchen. And I thought what was a really nice touch actually in his kitchen was in the background, in the flower pot, was all coloured spatulas. So I thought was a really nice touch. Rather than actually having live flowers, basically having plastic representations. Not sure if anyone else picked up on that.
We do that a lot. Look in the background.
DDog6666 says, waiting for Big Navi, time to get rid of the RX 580. James Miscellaneous says, at Skystalker, it's high quality textures and ray traced. Carl the Jackal says, I think Kerry Helsman is trying to sue Jensen for using his trademark kitchen. Yeah. His DLSS enabled kitchen. Ugly Bob says, I think Big Navi cards should be competitively priced, to the Nvidia ones and offer better value for money. Yes. Aletta says, I'm waiting for Big Navi 2, but still happy with my water-cooled 5700 XT. Nice card. Tristan G, I'm really waiting for the RDNA 2 GPUs to see what develops before any consideration of a new purchase. See, you are all very sensible people, and I do like to see that. It's good to wait and see. For those that have gone straight in, no lubrication, just right in there and gone in and bought a 3080 on launch day, that's a brave move. That really is a brave move.
They should be drinking ass.
Yeah. Aletta Liane says spatulas equals spanking toys, lol. They probably are in Jensen's house. He whips off that leather jacket and he gets all medieval on. No, I'm not going to say that. Soapton Jill says, my 5700 XT Red Devil is a good GPU paired with the 3600. I really did want a 5700. I did order one, didn't I, Kath?
Yeah.
I ordered one and it got lost in the post.
It went to, we supposed they got delivered, but
Yeah.
we never had it.
2 failed deliveries. Ninja 47 actually raises a very, very interesting thing there. Is it just me, or do you find yourself always going back to the same game or two when you've got a reasonably decent PC to play a selection of games? It just seems pointless upgrading. Yes, Ninja 47, you have hit the nail on the head. Now, for me personally, there's a couple of go-to games which I always play. Rocket League, obviously. New edition would be Flight Sim 2020. Prior to that, probably CSGO, and maybe kind of Need for Speed, that kind
Plants
of...
versus Aliens.
Plants vs Zombies, yeah.
That's the one.
Solitaire. I'm trying to think, what other games do I play? It's been such a long time since I've actually played games in any... Not Need for Speed. What's the driving one? Yeah. It was Need for Speed. basically there's a very limited selection of games which I always go back to. Oh, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn. Those are the go-to games. So realistically, any of those games will run very, very easily on very modest hardware these days. Far Cry 5 probably being one which does push the boundaries a little bit, obviously Flight Sim 2020. But ultimately, like I said, PC behind me, Ryzen 5 2600 with a RX 57, RX 570. It plays everything. It genuinely does, even Flight Sim. So when it comes to all this new stuff, it's like, I don't really need it. This screen is 1080p, that screen over there is 1440p. I don't have a 4K screen, so I don't need those ultra high resolutions. None of the screens are actually above 75 Hz, they're all FreeSync. So I've got no real benefits of getting a really high-end graphics card. Obviously, as games progress, real-time ray tracing is obviously going to become a thing. So we're going to be kind of almost forced into having an upgrade to get those real-time effects. And I think games like Far Cry will look absolutely amazing with ray tracing enabled. They just will, because they're that kind of game, as will games such as the kind of, oh god, what was... Crisis. Crisis is going to look amazing. All those kinds of things. Anything nighttime, I don't think it's going to be quite as good. You'll get a lot of reflections, that kind of stuff, but I generally don't like playing dark games if I can possibly help it. I like bright, vivid games with loads of sunlight, loads of lush scenery, bright flashing lights. Look at Rocket League, for instance. That is a prime example of a cool looking game. You've got neons, you've got lights, loads of colour, very vivid. It's just enjoyable. I like seeing bright, shiny things. Dark games really do kind of like bum me out a little bit. Batman, some of the Batman games, Arkham Asylum was a very, very dark game. Very dark all the way through. Almost to the point was where you'd have kind of like your bat vision on all the time just to actually see some differences in colour. It's very, very dark. But ultimately quite enjoyable. Bye Tristan, thanks for dropping in. So yeah, I can't even remember who made, oh, Ninja47. I totally agree with your comment. I genuinely do think that is exactly right. Most of us do kind of concentrate on some core games. We do kind of dip outside, mainly down to kind of the freebies. So Epic Games this week, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, awesome title, totally free at the moment. But that's the thing, a lot of these freebie games are the things which kind of draw us in to try a new game. Recently we had Watch Dogs 2 as well from Epic. I think it was Epic. Was it Epic? No, Ubi, sorry. So yeah, sometimes you try a new game just to see what it's like. But do you really need to keep on upgrading? I don't know. It's nice to do it. It is a hobby for a lot of us. And if you're anything like me, you enjoy tweaking and tinkering. I've rebuilt the same PC probably 10, 20 times, purely because I enjoy doing it and rewiring it, all that kind of stuff. Or I'll just upgrade a power supply just so I can do some cable management. That's the things we enjoy doing. And I think sometimes we tend to do an upgrade because we want an excuse to take a PC apart and rebuild it. But really, you don't need that excuse. If it makes you feel good and you enjoy doing it, just do it. Get your PC, unplug this thing, take the whole thing apart, give the whole thing a really good clean. Take the case apart, take it into the kitchen sink, get some fairy liquid on it, clean the hell out of that thing. Take the whole thing apart, strip it down so it looks like it's just come out of factory. Build it all back together, get your duster out, get your brush out, brush all the dust off, and just enjoy it. That's what it's there for. It is our hobby. It is our passion. It's what we love. You don't need to have something brand spanking new to get enjoyment out of it. All you need is to have that passion and that desire to do it. If you've got the tools, you've got the time, just do it. You will enjoy it, guaranteed. Grab your PC, unplug it. Don't unplug it yet because we're still streaming, but after we finish streaming, just grab a PC, just take it apart. Redo it, redo your cable management. See if you can make your PC look better than it does already by just taking it apart and rewiring it. I'm guaranteeing that if you do it, you'll have some frustrations, but ultimately you're going to enjoy it. And it's not going to cost you anything, maybe a price for some cable ties. But just do it, enjoy it. That's what it's all about. James Brock's in the house. Ugly Bob says Quiplash can get dark sometimes. Sometimes. Quiplash is dark all the time. Lardo Lummy says hi Calf. Hi Calf.
Darren's going now.
Bye, Darren. Thanks for dropping by. Aletta says, I rewired my PC, got rid of all the stupid controllers. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is what it's all about. Get your PC. You guarantee if you get your PC out now, take a look at it. Just look at the side of it. If you've got dirt on the glass, is it a little bit hazy? Because a bit of dirt is built up on the inside. If you look at your fans, can you see there's a little bit of dust around the outside rim of the fan? Just turn it off, take it apart, clean it up. Enjoy the process. Get to know your PC on an intimate level. Get your little artist brush out and clean all the little fan blades, all that kind of stuff. You know you're going to enjoy it.
Go back up to I don't play games.
I don't play games. I love them. I don't play games, so my friend is looking to get a GPU. Would it be worth waiting for the next AMD cards and selling him my RX 57 XT? Budget is £500. So his budget is, or your friend's budget is £500. I would say, well, it depends what they want and what they play. If you want to blow the entire £500, then I would probably wait for the AMD cards and wait for the RTX 3070, which is probably going to be around about that price, a little bit less. At the moment, waiting is really the ultimate thing you can do. Hang on in there, see what happens. If in the meantime, some crazy SOB wants to sell like a RTX 2080 for, I don't know, £400 or something, rip their arm off. Because even, well, I can't see the difference between a 2080 and a 3070 being that drastic. I really can't. Yes, possibly in ray trace games, yeah. But realistically, how many ray trace games have you currently got or do you own? And do you even use it? Actually, that's a quick question. Do you use ray trace in your games? Do you have a card which will actually support ray tracing at the moment? I would imagine probably of our viewers, there's nearly 100 of you watching at the moment. So I would say probably, I would be amazed if more than 10 of you have got an RTX card and you actually use ray tracing. Let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think. I would be surprised. I've got a 2060 and I don't even know if I've got RTX enabled. I don't necessarily enable it. I don't even think I've got any RTX enabled games. Have I? I've got Fortnite, which might be, but I've not played that, so who knows. But I don't think it is. I think that ray tracing, although it's going to be a thing, until it's ubiquitous absolutely everywhere, it's kind of pointless. So that is why AMD potentially could take the throne on this next round of graphics cards. If they're faster at rasterization, which is what probably 90% of us are interested in, yeah, why would you buy a slower card from Nvidia? Just because it enables real-time ray tracing slightly better in, what, a handful of games? 10 games? Maybe more? Probably there's about 10 games that actually fully support RTX. Minecraft RTX, that's one. Definitely. I don't play games, says thanks for the advice. No worries. That's what we're here for.
You also asked best case for...
Darren says, I'm a fan, Mike. You're better than a video best stream ever. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate that.
What's the best?
Go on, Kath, you can do it.
I've lost it.
She's lost it. You need more ass. What should we open next?
Best tower-sized case for airflow and aesthetics for £200 or less.
Where's that question?
Don't play games.
Don't play games. Was that another question?
Yeah.
Oh my lord. I can't see that.
It's to buy letters. I rewire my PC. It's 2 down.
Oh,
down,
God.
4 down, 5.
Ladios says, Mike, would it be a bad idea if I play on 1080p and I find a good deal for a 2070 or 2080? No, 1080p, you're still going to get really good results, but at 1080p, it gets to the point where you're going to be more CPU bound than your GPU bound. Your GPU is only going to start stretching its legs at higher resolutions, but then you might get a higher resolution monitor at a later date, so you're kind of future-proofing a little bit. You don't necessarily need that kind of card. But again, if you can pick one up cheap, then hell, what? Why not? Paul B4 UK says, I played with Crossfire, not many games supported it, and I went back to a single card at the time. Yeah, that is the thing, isn't it? RTX is a very similar thing as Crossfire. It's kind of, it's what they want you to do. They're pushing this new technology. It's like, right, you want to get a good benchmark, you want to be good, you need to have this type of graphics card, you need to have RTX enabled to get those extra frames, or to get that part of the benchmark completed, otherwise you're going to be lower. So, well, I don't really need it. SLI would give you much, much better results in benchmarks, but in general, actually was crap and had micro stutter and was just generally not a very good performer. But for the enthusiasts, it was cool. Aletta says, I have to go to the hobby shop and buy some modelling clay, mini trees and cars and racing stickers to finish my case mod. Is this a Scaletrix build on the horizon that I see? James Miscellaneous has quoted me there, saying, get to know your PC on an intimate level. Hell yeah, why not? Do it. And if you want to be really anal about it, get some cleaning detergent. Actually, where's that stuff? The Win's screen and dash cleaner. I love this stuff. It's bloody amazing. Yeah, thank you. Win's dash and display cleaner. Get some of this. Clean your PC with this. The plastics will look like they are brand spanking new. The glass looks amazing. And in fact, actually, let me have a quick look. Yeah, the glass on this PC, the tempered glass. Now, I'll be completely upfront with you. Kath smokes in this room. We've got kids who vape, etc. We've got cats cooking from the kitchen.
But Mike breathing.
Me breathing, all that kind of stuff. So all the kind of stuff which makes glass look dirty. Now, I cleaned this more than a week ago, and that glass is absolutely perfect. It is actually surprisingly so. There's no film build up on the inside or the outside. It just looks like it's literally just been cleaned. It looks amazing. So if you want to have your glass, I don't know what it is, there's some kind of repellent in this which stops it from getting dirty again. But you can use it on touch screens, glass, plastics, all sorts, and it's got a matte finish, so don't leave that sticky silicone shit everywhere, which is great.
Where do they sell it?
Where do they sell it? You can get it on Amazon, Motor Parts in Downend. If you want to come over to Bristol and buy some, hell, I'll even stick it in your shopping cart for you. Or bag. I've got bags in stock now. Yes. So, yeah, get some. Clean your PC, use that after. It's going to look $1 million. It really will. And for the sake of, I think it's about £5-6 here in the UK, maybe about $7 or $8. Definitely well worth it. Pierre Plays YouTube says, I have a 1660 Super, but when this back pay comes, I'll be getting a 3080 Gaming X Trio. That is a pretty cool card. Although the 1660 is a pretty super card, because it is called a 1660 Super. There we go. I have a 2060, but it doesn't get used. I guess that's RTX. Ugly Bob says the RX 580 is an amazing 1080p gaming card. It is actually. There's still very little which actually will keep up with that in terms of pricing. It really is good. I don't play games. Opinions on AMD VCE versus NVENC. NVENC encoder is much better at the moment, for sure. Although it seems that the new Nvidia, the new AMD cards are going to feature something called turbo cache. So you've got your RAM on your graphics card, or your VRAM, but they're going to have a very small amount of V-cache, which is a relatively new thing. So that increases effectively your memory bandwidth by probably about a quarter again. So you can cache textures and stuff into this caching area of super fast RAM before it goes to the GPU or from the RAM or whatever the case may be. So that is going to actually have a big effect. So for video encoding, which is a very resource hungry task, it doesn't use a particularly lot of energy for the CPU. It's quite a low level task, but it is a high bandwidth one. So that may actually improve. So video encoding from Nvidia, from AMD may actually improve quite a lot in this next generation. What have I missed? Pierre Plays YouTube says, hey, got to run. Good stream tonight, everyone.
Oh, I can see Pierre go.
See you later, my friend. James Miscellaneous says, Mr. Clean, still need that earring. Oh, I forgot to put my earring in. I was going to put my earring back in. I'm going to have to do that. I got my Christmas one ready with the RGB lights in it. Gary says, a lot of the games lack the programming to take advantage of graphics card technology. Yeah, that is it. A lot of games, if you think about it, most games, not most, but quite a lot of games are ported from the console versions to PC, because console was generally where they come out first for some reason. Although, that may start to change as we do see, because the Xbox and the PlayStation are all using very similar to AMD technology, we might start seeing games launches come out maybe at the same time, or even PC first. That would be an interesting one. PC is starting to get a lot of momentum mainstream-wise for gaming. Ninja47 says, I'd just like to thank you, Mike, and anyone who helps build this community and channel. You've made me happier in the year, or so I've been subscribed. You deserve all the success you get, Mike. Oh, bless you. That's so kind. And speaking of which, actually, we are knocking on the door now of 40k subs, which is pretty exciting. Never thought I'd get there. 10k was pushing it. 40k is like, what? Very strange times. James Brock says, spend more, get more. Get the 1660 Super. That sounds like an advert right there. That could be a slogan on a t-shirt. Get more. Spend more, get more. Get the 1660 Super.
The government.
New from Nvidia. Nagy Rowland says, as a new build for 1080p gaming, do I need a 2070 Super or a 57 XT? Smiley face. You need neither, my friend. Hopefully you were smiley face joking at that. You don't need a 2070 for 1080p gaming. If you're doing 165 Hertz, possibly. Jams25 says, how are you, Mike, mate? Pretty good. Not bad at all. And actually, we've just gone past our 2-hour stream limit, so maybe we should think about wrapping this up. Ivory Wolfman says, I got my pre-order for PS5. Maybe I'll have a new PC and PS5 by 2021. That will be pretty awesome. Okay, I think we've pretty much exhausted tonight's topics. Thank you so much to Cosmic Muffin for our goodies, which we'll be enjoying a little bit later on into the night. Scepter says, oh no, I just got here. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I can't help it. We have been on for 2 hours. My throat is killing, and I have got to go to work tomorrow, unfortunately. Working on the Sabbath, man. What's up with that? Luckily, I have got my Q-Link to keep me going.
Oh, we haven't done the giveaway, have we?
Oh, shit, yeah, we haven't done the giveaway. We better do the giveaway.
Last chance to enter.
Right, so one last chance quickly if you want to enter. It is in the video description and also in the chat. If not, just go over to our Facebook page. The best RC says, Mike, finish your ass. I think my ass has been totally exhausted.
I think I finished your ass.
Skystalker's thrown us 10 Canadian dollars, says thanks Mike and Kath, and has given us some super chat loving. We've got some ass loving, we've got some turbo pills loving, and now we got some Canadian dollars loving.
Let's go put thanks ass.
Thank you, Sky. Scepter says, I'll rewatch the stream. Enjoy Sunday. Well, I got to do the giveaway. Damn it, I forgot about it. Darren says, my very first PC after my Amiga 600. I deleted a system file and had to pay 50 quid. My first PC was an Intel DX386, I think. 486 was where you wanted to be, really, but we had a 386, which wasn't great. Quite slow. I think I had
Slow when you touched it.
2 or 4 megabytes of RAM, if that. Maybe even less. It was horrendous.
Where's my chair? Has everyone entered?
Waldo135 says, am I late? Yeah, pretty much. James Miscellaneous says, I wish I was wealthy. I would super chat Mike. Super chats are not necessary. They're very, very welcome, very well received. The nicest thing you can do is leave comments on our videos, watch the videos, click on the like button, all that kind of stuff is awesome. Aletta says, my first computer was at Abacus. That was a few hundred years ago.
Has everyone who wants to enter?
Right, is everybody who wants to enter the competition entered? Tim Riley says, another UK tech tuber taking over. Don't know about that, but we'll see how it turns out. I did actually watch a Linus Tech Tips video where he was interviewed by somebody. I think it was on That Creative channel, I think it was. And within the first 4 years of Linus Tech Tips, he had 200,000 subscribers. That's when he left NCIX to start Linus Tech Tips on as a standalone subsidiary. Which, 4 years, 200,000 subs, that is pretty good going. Linus is a squeaker. YoSam88 says, I want to join the giveaway. So the link's in there.
Ira Wolfman said he can't find it. It's there.
Ira Wolfman can't find the link. It's literally there. James Machine says, I played Wing Commander on the 486. Turbo button boosted the FSB from 36 MHz to 66. I have the power. Skystalker says, remember to push the like. Hell yeah. What is the giveaway? The giveaway is a joystick or joypad from Easy SMX, which they sent me for review, but I don't have a Nintendo Switch, which is what this is really intended for. It can work with PC, but ideally it is designed for a Nintendo Switch. So I figured, rather than faff around with it or leave it in a box on the shelf, I'll give it to one of you guys. So if you've got a Switch and you want one of these, or you want it anyway, because you just need it in your life, feel free to enter. Kath's put the links in. And we will be doing the draw at 11:10 precisely, so you've got about a minute. James Brock says, boys.
Brandon hasn't missed it.
Brandon hasn't missed it, no?
But I missed it, didn't I? But he hasn't.
No. So, 23:10. And okay, that's it. So that is the cut-off point. So if you haven't entered, do apologise. Can't keep it open all the time, unlike my ass beer.
So it's 35 unique.
So we've got 35 unique individuals who have entered the competition. So you've got a 1 in 35 chance of winning this.
Ready?
And hopefully it's someone in the UK, so it doesn't cost me a fortune to post the damn thing. So here we go. Kath has pressed the button. And the winner is that
Don Nash.
Don Nash. Don Nash is the winner. So Don Nash, if you're in the chat right now, you're a winner, my friend. And for those of you that didn't win, I do apologise, but you're all winners. I'll just say that. Ray N says,
Why can't you install the driver for a new family of Nvidia graphic card?
Don't know. Ray, difficult to do, difficult to answer. I don't know why, but we have got a Discord chat room, which most of the people in this now are going to be going over to very shortly. I certainly will be. So if you want to ask that question over there, and we can take some more information and hopefully get that sorted out for you, work out what the hell is going on. Yeah, if it doesn't get claimed, then we'll do the giveaway again next week. Hopefully we'll. Ray N. Okay, yeah, Ray, jump over in our Discord. Again, some of the guys here will be coming over. I'm going to pack away some of the stream, but I'll be in there chatting for a little bit, so if you want a bit of help with that. I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up, guys and girls. Hopefully you've had a good time, you've had a few laughs. Don't forget, we are going to be opening up that chat room specifically for those of you who got, I don't know, mental health issues. I don't want to say mental health issues, because just feeling down is that a mental health issue or is it just modern life? But whatever you want to call it, whatever it is, if you want to come and have a chat, we're going to have a room on the Discord from Monday, which we'll get that all set up, and it'll be, I'm not sure if we're going to erase all the chat that goes in there to keep it private or leave it open. Maybe I'll leave that to you guys in the community to decide what you want to do. Maybe you'll find that reading through some of the other comments might actually be beneficial to you. I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. But thank you all. Yeah, Aletta, you are a winner. Ivy Wolfman says I'm having a beer with Mike. Best win ever. Yeah, you're all winners. So thank you all for taking part. Thank you all for the super chats. We appreciate it. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. And if you can do, leave a comment on the video as well. We do appreciate that. It all helps with the YouTube BS algorithm, but we are slaves to it. So what else can we do? If you want to chat to us more, we've got a Discord chat. You can do that. If you want to see us again next Saturday, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the chime icon, all that kind of stuff, and be notified of all future videos. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching. Oh dear. This is where I press end stream and I can't see the button. There we go. Do you want to end your stream? I don't really, but I better. See you later everyone. Have a nice night.